Hey everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome to day 2 of the Running Moms, such a long title, Running Moms Ditch the Processed Sugar Training Intensive. I hope you got the email, I hope you've read through, I hope you're taking the time to read, because this is about educating you guys about sugar and about blood sugars and about how it works, because you can't beat blood sugar and insulin spikes and crashes, and it's going to leave you craving sugar and feeling hungry, and then it makes it impossible to not give in. And it's not more willpower that you need, it's understanding the spikes and the crashes. So it's like really key to understand that if you want to get your sugar cravings under control, if you want to get your nutrition under control, if you want to rev your metabolism, kickstart your body to start shedding fat as opposed to just burning sugar all day long, and if you want to increase your performance and your energy, right? And this stuff is kind of complicated. I'm not giving you guys the quick fix. I'm not giving you the pill. I'm not telling you to take the shake. I'm telling you to understand your body. That is what I do. That is how I train you guys, because diets don't work. That's what we're talking about today. I used to run long miles after babies, run and run and run, and skip calories. I didn't have time to eat. I would graze off my kids' plates, which meant I would eat leftover toast with jam. I would be craving salty things, so I'd be eating salty things all the time and thinking that I was eating low fat, so that was fine. But all of those behaviors are all of us, putting our bodies into starvation mode, and that never works. What happens is your blood sugars crash, your body triggers the release of hormones that are going to make you crave sugar, because it needs to get those blood sugars up, so it makes you crave sugar. Willpower doesn't help. It's not even your fault, right? But understanding it is key, so that when you do go to eat, and I know I was grazing on carbs all day long. I constantly felt sugar hungry, like I was always hungry, but I was a runner, right? So I would just graze all day long, but all I was doing was spiking my blood sugars, crashing them, spiking my blood sugars, crashing them. We're going to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, and some of the hormones involved and what they do to your fat burning and your sugar burning. So that's going to be tomorrow. But today I just want to talk a little bit about skipping meals, restricting calories. It doesn't work, and it's a really hard myth to break. I mean, we all think that if we push harder and eat less, it's a simple calories in, calories out, and it's not. That's not how it works. So strategy number 2 today, you guys, is to not skip meals. It's to eat regular meals every 2 to 4 hours and keep those blood sugars level, because it's the only way that you're going to stop those sugar highs and lows, okay? And the key to this is to make sure you eat every 2 to 4 hours, but that you don't just grab a carbohydrate. Like, it's so easy. Carbohydrates are the sugars, the crackers, the chips, the breads, the oatmeal, the granola bars, all of that stuff, but the yogurt, the bananas, even the veggies, but they're just carbs, and that we're going to talk more about that tomorrow again. But when you just eat a carb, it's still going to spike and crash you. So you want to be eating, you want to pair that carb always with a fat and a protein. Okay, so if you've got an apple, you're going to have almond butter, veggies with hummus. I love leftovers. I always eat leftovers, chicken stir fry with rice, It's got everything, and that's really, really key, and that's going to stop the spike and the drop. It's going to keep your blood sugars level. You're not going to be craving the sugars as much. You're going to get hungry. Like, I'm hungry every 2 to 4 hours, but I'm not hungry for carbohydrates. I'm not grabbing muffins and donuts and chips and stuff that I used to grab when I crashed in the morning and I crashed in the afternoon with my head exhausted on the desk. I eat lots of really good food as I'm hungry, and I eat lots of carbs, fats, and proteins, and that's the key for today, you guys, eating at regular intervals throughout the day. Generally, I tell people eat 3 meals a day with snacks in between as you need. I know that mid-morning is a really common time for people to crash. So look at breakfast. What did you eat for breakfast? Was it a protein, a carb, and a fat, or was it just a muffin and a coffee? And then in the afternoon, people crash when they get home from work. They crash in the afternoon. And again, did you eat a big enough lunch? And are you hungry? Like, if you're hungry, eat, but make sure that you eat a carb, a fat, and a protein, because if you're getting home and just eating sugars and muffins and cookies and crackers, then you're going to crash, you're going to store fat, and you're never going to get past those crashes and highs, and you're never going to curb the cravings, rev the metabolism, or kickstart your body to burn fat. And this is the science behind it, right? Blood sugars are tricky, and that's why I've got the macro guide, you guys, where I've laid it out in a book, and you can kind of read through it. It comes with an interview with Laura, who's a great friend of mine, a holistic nutritionist who specializes in fat loss and macronutrition. So it's really good. I put it on for $9 for you guys because I just want you to have it. And then she gives you like a 14-day meal plan, which no one follows meal plans, and I don't expect you to follow a meal plan. 2 to 3 fats a day. I don't know. If you eat 2 to 3 times a day, then you're going to put 2 to 3 fats with each of those meals. Again, though, if you're going to eat a snack in between and there's no fat in it, you're spiking your insulin levels. And we're going to talk about insulin specifically tomorrow, insulin and glucagon. Canada Food Guide is super old school as well. Again, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just telling you guys what works for me. And the science, the research that I've done. But if you look at the science behind just eating a carbohydrate, you're going to spike and crash. You're going to spike your insulin. Like, this is the science, right? You eat a carbohydrate, you put sugars into your body, it puts your insulin up, and then what happens is that your body stores the extra energy, because carbohydrates are energy, for your body, for your cells, for your working muscles. But if you're not working, you're not doing anything, you're just having a snack, you're going to eat that carbohydrate, and your body's going to release the insulin, which we're going to talk about this tomorrow, but it triggers your body to store all of that extra sugar as fat. Whereas so all day long, you could be grazing carbs, right? You're going to eat that carb, your body's going to store fat, all that extra energy as fat, and then you're going to crash. And then it's going to crave you to have sugar again. So you have sugar, and all that extra energy gets stored as fat because of that insulin, and then you crash. So you're not breaking that. But if you have a fat with it, I'm not talking like a whole avocado, but just a little bit of fat and a little bit of protein, and I don't measure, count, diet, restrict, any of that garbage. I have an apple with some almond butter on each bite, right? I work out, I do my HIIT workouts, I do my speed workouts, I do my strength training, I do my runs, but I eat. That's how I eat. I don't just eat an apple, because when I do, I always used to say, before I learned all this science, I used to say that when I ate vegetables, they just made me more hungry, and it was because I was just eating the vegetables, they're carbohydrates, and I was just spiking and crashing, eating vegetables, trying to save calories, right? I'm just going to eat vegetables. But when I eat those vegetables with hummus, I don't feel that way. It actually is a great snack that holds me through till lunch. And like I said, I'm hungry every 2 to 4 hours, so don't expect not to be hungry. I'm actually more hungry now than I've ever been eating this way, but I don't crave sugar. I crave full meals. So actually, you're going to eat a lot more, but that's my body burning fat. It's burning calories. It's got a lot of lean muscle that needs to be fed, and it needs to be fed all day, right? So that's the difference, you guys. You need to eat more. Again, it's this funny myth that we've got in our heads where we need to work out more and eat less, and it's not true, but you need to be eating the right things at the right times. Protein, carbs, and fats at 3 meals a day, with snacks in between as you're hungry, right? Like, sometimes I'll go breakfast to lunch without being hungry, and sometimes, especially if I work out in the morning, I am starving in between, so I need to eat, right? Same thing with before bed. People will say, should I eat or should I not eat? And it's like, if you're hungry, eat, but make sure you eat a carbohydrate, a fat, and a protein, right? Make sure you're eating all 3 so that you're not going to bed, raising your insulin levels, dropping them, spiking them, right? And storing that fat. I often eat kale sauteed in coconut oil with salt and chickpeas before bed. I'll eat like this huge plate because I'm starving, right? Like, I'm up late and I had dinner at 5. Like, of course I'm hungry. So we make food really difficult. It doesn't have to be. The macro guide lays it out there. I think there's like 13 or 14 really simple rules. It's really about basic healthy habits and being consistently sticking to those habits, right? Combined, of course, with the HIIT training, strength and speed training, because that's where you build the muscles to rev the metabolism all day long for up to 48 hours after your workout, and then just you raise your metabolism rate all the time when you have a lot of lean muscle. That takes focus, that takes effort, but you need to be feeding yourself to build those lean muscles. If you're running and running and running, you're burning and breaking those muscles down. So you're never able to build the lean muscle. You're never able to rev it. So you got to be eating and pushing your strength workouts, not just running and running and running and trying to skimp on calories and skipping eating carbohydrates. I hope that makes sense. And at the end of here, it says too, just a hint, and I talked about this today, with stable blood sugars, because you eat the carb and the fat with your carbohydrate, your body releases, instead of just insulin to spike, it also releases a chemical called glucagon, and glucagon is it triggers your body to burn fat, not store fat, but burn fat. So by eating those, you're revving your metabolism, you're burning more calories, you're not storing fat all day long. Think about the runner who's running and running and running and hungry and grazing on carbs, and we think it's okay, right? And this is why runners gain weight as they build endurance, as they build distance, because you're not tuned into how food works, and you're hungry, like you're legitimately hungry, but we love to eat carbs because that's what we're starving for, because we're not eating enough. And women are notorious for not eating enough fat and enough protein. And I used to be the girl who came from the low fat era, right? Like, I'll just eat Twizzlers and Slurpees because there's no fat in them, right? Like, I literally used to have my head down, exhausted every afternoon. I didn't know why, right? It's because I was skipping calories and only eating carbs. So you guys, this is a really frank discussion, and I do this. I'm not a fat loss expert. This is what works for me. I've experienced it from being the runner who ran and skipped calories and ignored nutrition, because honestly, it's the elephant in the room for runners. And I've dialed in my nutrition. I've learned the science. I've dialed it in, and my body has changed from this sugar craving sugar burner to pro fat burner. And I don't have to work out very much. I can maintain and ramp it up and build muscle, not too much muscle, because we don't have the hormones to build tons of muscle the way men do anyways. But and I've lost that stress of having to run and run and run. I'm also, again, I didn't talk about weight loss for a very long time in my coaching practice because I'm a physio. I do the exercise part, but I can get you guys strong. I can get you guys to distances, but what is happening is I keep getting emails saying, but I'm not losing weight. And I said, well, we haven't been talking about losing weight. We've been talking about getting you strong, and you're getting strong. We're talking about building your distance, and you're building distance. But I get that you also want to lose weight, and who doesn't, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to run strong and get fit and lean and sexy and confident, but we have to address nutrition from a scientific perspective, as opposed to the diets and the restrictive bullshit that goes on out there, because it doesn't work. But we also need to learn, and we need to focus, and we need to put the work in. Like, I will say to people, well, are you doing this? And no, we're not doing it. We keep skipping meals. We keep feeding our children, but not feeding ourselves. And just think of your kids. Like, if my kids don't eat protein for breakfast, if they eat just a carb snack, they're crazy. Their behavior is crazy. They cry and they whine and they're bad. If I feed them a solid breakfast of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, if I pack them a protein snack for their snack, and then again, they need a full-on lunch, their behavior is great. They're amazing kids. So I want you guys to understand this. We can also feed our kids this way. It's really important. And it's also really important that you just prioritize yourself enough to do this, right? Yeah, that's what I've got to say about that, you guys. Again, the link is pinned to the top right now, the macro guide. It's $9. I go deeper into the blood sugar story, the hormonal balance, if you want to dive in and read about it. Laura helped me get that written, so it's her work too. Yeah, it's a good reference to have. I'm here for you if you have questions. This is not something you learn quickly. It's experiential. You're gonna have to try it out there. This is what the Nourish Runner coaching program is all about. We talk about this stuff. It is not easy. This is not, I push you guys, like I push you, and that's okay. Like that's where all the good stuff happens, when you step out of your comfort zone. And I know I had a couple one-on-one consults today locally here with some women who are like, I kind of want to learn about some nutrition things, and it's a scary thing to ask for help, right? It's a scary thing to actually put yourself in that place, but it's going to last you your health for a really long time, right? And I want to help you with that, you guys. I'm here for you. So have an awesome day, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of Ditch the Processed Sugar Training Intensive. Take care.